Ever had a catering model fall behind schedule because materials showed up late? Or worse, discovered a missing IKEA cabinet right after demo day? In this episode of Kitchen Remodeling Success Stories, longtime remodeler Neil Nenov of European Kitchens in Virginia Beach, Virginia, shares how he keeps every IKEA kitchen remodel running smoothly and on time. You'll hear how smart planning, client communication, and one simple ordering strategy transformed a dark, dated 1980s kitchen into a bright modern space that the homeowners loved. Ignore this approach and you could lose weeks on your next project or frustrate a great client who might have become your next referral. And stick around until the end when I'll reveal a bonus tip, how early ordering can save your IKEA remodel from costly delays. Now, let's hear from Neil about this kitchen remodeling success story. Better clients, better kitchens, better profits. Welcome to Kitchen Remodeling Success Stories. Learn from the most inspiring kitchen remodelers, one success story at a time, so your business can be a better kitchen remodeling business. Hosted by blogger and podcaster since 2006, Jacob Scher of Scher Select Media. All right, welcome to today's episode of Kitchen Remodeling Success Stories, where I'll be speaking with Neil Nenov of European Kitchens based in Virginia Beach, Virginia. They handle everything from IKEA kitchen design and planning to demolition and disposal of old cabinets to assembly and installation of new IKEA cabinets, appliances, and countertops. Contact them today to turn your old kitchen into your dream IKEA kitchen. Neil, I'm thrilled to have you on today to talk with me about one of your most successful kitchen renovation projects. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jacob. It's my pleasure.
All right. So you sent me some beautiful pictures, which will appear on screen throughout the episode, of a terrific looking kitchen. What was the kitchen looking like when you got there initially?
Well, initially the kitchen was so 80s, meaning that it looked really, really dated. It was this colonial style hardwood kitchen. It was not really falling apart, but it was just really dated. And it was also very dark. And the customer wanted to open it up a little bit, not necessarily change the footprint of the kitchen, but basically bring it to the 21st century.
Okay. And how did they come to you, and why do you think they specifically came to you?
Well, I think one of the reasons was I have like really good reputation, to be honest, only 5-star reviews. And I don't think they came to me because they were looking specifically for IKEA. I remember that they invited me for a quote and they didn't know much about IKEA. And we started talking about the kitchen, what colors they want, transitional versus traditional style. And I said, you know what, I think you guys really probably would want to go with shaker style white cabinets. And I recommended a couple of different options that are available at IKEA. One of them is the in-cupping cabinets that they ultimately decided to go with, and they really liked it. And this is what we did. But I think their initial goal was, let's do a Google search. Let's see what are the kitchen remodeling companies in our area. And maybe they invited not just me, but maybe 2-3 companies. And ultimately, they decided to sign a contract with us.
And when was this roughly?
This was less than a year ago. It was in 2024.
Okay. So they did their competitive search. They discovered that you came to you. And then how did the process go from there?
Well, of course, the first meeting is to talk about the kitchen layout, give them a rough estimate for materials and labor, just to see if we have some common ground, right? The customers were, we're talking about different details. Okay, so what we're going to improve, are we going to make any big changes? Talking about, are we changing the color of the walls, floors? They wanted some additional work done, such as, let's also do recessed lights. They wanted to remove the fluorescent light fixture that was above the island and have recessed lights. They also added, we also replaced 2 windows, which is not something that we normally do, of course, in a kitchen remodeling project. But they said, we really want to change these windows. I have a subcontractor for that. So this is another thing that we did. So during this initial phase, we discuss all aspects of the kitchen remodeling, what it's going to include, how much it's going to be, just to make sure that the customer is comfortable with the price and the timeline. And ultimately, the customer needs to pull the trigger on this, and we do it. We schedule and we start doing the work.
And so how soon after did you start the work on the renovation?
It was about 2 months after we signed the contract, because I am booked. The customers need to also buy the materials at IKEA. So the way we do it, I design the kitchen, I give the customer the order list, the materials that will be needed. But the customer actually goes to IKEA and pays for the materials directly to IKEA, and then the materials are shipped to the house. This way, the warranty is in their name. So if something happens, like a warranty issue, they can just go directly to IKEA. They don't have to go through me. And the warranty is 25 years, by the way, so from the manufacturer.
And how do you manage the timing between, like, do you say to them, okay, we're going to be starting in 2 months on our end, so you have to go to IKEA 2 weeks before that, or how does that work?
Um, I mean, I give them my timeline based on how many projects I have at this point in time. So obviously, if my schedule is full for the next 2 months, then I tell them, okay, my first availability is in 2 months. But they may say, oh, you know what, we have a family event, so let's start in 3 months or whatever. But once we put it on the schedule, I give them the order list, and it's really at their own pace and timeline whenever they want to buy the materials. Some people go immediately and buy the materials because they just want to have them. Some people postpone until the very end, which is not the best way to do that, because usually if you leave it for the very last moment, let's say they go to IKEA a week before we start the project, and they place the order for the materials, and they tell them, oh, we have everything except these two cabinets. So now, because they're backward, now they have to wait for these materials to be back in stock so they can place an order. This may shift the timeline. It may not, of course, because there is so much work before we even get to the cabinets, like the demo, electrical, plumbing, flooring, all of that. So it may or may not affect the timeline, but I recommend, hey, just go and place an order for the materials. If there are any backward items, you have time to work on it. You know what? Some items may be delivered yet damaged, so still need to work on it and get them
Wow.
replaced by IKEA.
So the earlier the better.
Yes, I would say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not gonna
Okay.
go bad, right? They just sit in the
Right.
garage. So you can wait.
Okay. And so, all right. So the stuff arrives at some point in the 2 or 3 months before, I mean, in this example, before you start the
Yeah,
work. I
yeah.
know this kitchen specifically, was the materials all waiting for you when you guys actually got to the job site, or how did that work?
Yes. So basically, when we schedule the demo date, when we go there to start removing the old cabinets and countertops, yes, the materials are already there at the premises. Usually either in the garage or the living room, wherever they have some room to fit them, because it's a lot. It's like 200 to 150 boxes items that are flat packed and need to be assembled. This is how the
Yeah.
IKEA works, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, when I do the demo, it's just so that we do it efficiently and safely, removing the old cabinets. Usually during the demo day, we may uncover some problems that we couldn't see before the demo,
Right.
such as rotten wood or a leak or some minor electrical problems. In this particular case, no issues, but I always tell the customer, hey, the
Too
demo day
bad.
is the day that we may uncover some issues. Just have some miscellaneous budget set aside. Doesn't mean that we're gonna use it. It doesn't have to be me. But if we uncover a leak and rotting wood or
Yeah.
subfloor, this has to be repaired.
Mold.
We cannot proceed. Yeah. So yeah, the materials are there, but we don't really start doing the cabinets right away. Right after the demo, um, the next thing to do is working on electrical, such as the recessed lights, if any receptacles need to be moved, um, getting the power supplies for the lights under the wall cabinets that later will be installed. In this case, also the valves under the sink had to be replaced with new ones. So this is the electrical and plumbing phase. And you know what? Once this is done, then it's about drywalling and patching. Because after the demo and after the electrical, as you can see in the pictures, there were many holes that we had to cut in the wall and in the ceiling to have access to run the wiring. So the next phase is to patch all of this. Once we patch the drywall, walls, and ceiling, then we need to do at least one coat of paint. Ideally, maybe even paint everything. After the cabinets are installed, there may be a need for some paint touch-ups, but usually at least one coat of paint before the cabinets go in is a good idea. Um, since we're talking about the timeline, I can just tell you what pretty much is next. But once it's painted, even though it's just subfloors, right, we can now move on with the cabinets installation. This is the point in time when we sort out the IKEA material. So we'll put the frames on one end, cover panels on another end, doors, drawer fronts, hinges, toe kick, all kind of trims, kind of separate them so that we can easily find the part that we need.
Mhm.
Um, for this project, the floors were luxury vinyl planks, LVP. They're also floating floors. So that's why the cabinets need to go in first, and then is the floors, because they're floating. Now, if this kitchen was with, let's say, tiles or hardwood floors, they're not floating. So definitely floors would go in first, and then would be the cabinets.
On top, yeah.
But again, this kitchen was vinyl planks, so that's why we had to put the cabinets first. Right after the cabinets go in, especially base cabinets, then is the floors, vinyl planks. And then we go back and put appliances such as fridge, dishwasher, range oven, and we finish some work on the base cabinet, such as cover panels and toe kick.
Mhm. So anyway, let me just go back a little bit earlier. What happens if you've started the cabinet installation and you discover something's missing?
Well, there's lots of other work to do anyway, so we'll just do whatever we can with the parts that we have. But I will immediately tell the customer, "Hey, I'm just going through my list here, the order list, and I'm missing this cabinet or this part. I don't see it. Please check if you've paid for it, and maybe IKEA didn't deliver it, or maybe you never paid for it, and that's why it's not here. But either way, we're gonna need it." Usually the customer, because we have IKEA here in Norfolk, which is just a couple of miles away, the customer goes to the IKEA store and buys the part and supplies it. Or in some cases, I have to go to the store and buy the part. But obviously, as soon as we find there's a material that is a part that is damaged or missing, or like, okay, we need this replaced, we need it. And if it's a frame or a cover panel, it's kind of critical part. We can't really proceed without the frame. But if it's a door, a hinge, a drawer front, this can come back at any point, meaning that we can proceed, even do the countertops and backsplash and whatnot, and then all the way in the end, we can get back to this. But if we're missing the frame of the corner cabinet, we just can't proceed, right? I can't hang the door in the air, right? I need the
Yeah.
frame. So that's why some parts are critical. And when we start with, at least check and make sure we have the frames and cover panels. Yep.
All right. So demo day was just one day in this case. It sounded like there were no
Um,
surprises. Not
it's
even?
usually a day, but it can be 2 days. It depends if it's like extensive flooring demo or something. But usually for the cabinet specifically, it's a day. Yeah.
Okay. And then how long did the cabinets, well, the cabinet, the floor, the cabinet station, the windows, how much did the actual renovation work take?
So the renovation A to Z, everything.
No, from the moment that you guys finished demo day until you finished the installation, how much time was that?
Oh, well, with the cabinets in, it was about 3 weeks. But there is so many things going on, right?
Sure.
Obviously, once the demo is done, I mean, the electrician alone takes at least 3 days to run the wiring and install the lights. Um, the plumber at least a day. And you know what? Usually trades do not like to work together, because if the electrician is there, the drywall people really say, "Oh, we have
Yeah.
nothing to do
Stepping on
here.
each
We're
other's
just going to be
toes.
in each other's way, so we have to
Yeah.
wait." Okay. Sometimes the drywall people are not immediately available next day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So drywalling easily takes another 2-3 days. If you add the painting, it's already a week. Okay. Um, the
You had
cabinets
the
installation.
windows in this case.
I'm sorry.
You had the windows in this case as well.
Yes, but the windows were more towards the end of the job,
Okay.
not
Okay.
really in the middle. Just because the way Windows installation works, it's usually done from the outside, doesn't really affect the work that is inside. And Windows, you have to wait quite a long time to get supplied. Just the Windows as materials.
Wow.
I
Okay.
mean, I've heard like even months. Sometimes people wait for 6 months to get the particular window size that they need to be replaced. But at least the good news is that the window replacement is from the outside of the house. It's not on the inside.
So it
So
doesn't
that's why
prevent
it's
you
not
from
really
working.
critical for the
Yeah.
for the renovation timeline. But cabinets installation take another week to assemble and install all the IKEA cabinets. Flooring takes another week. In this case, it was just not just the kitchen, but also living room. You don't see it in the pictures, but it was kind of one big space separated by a small wall. Um, and at that point, we finished the cabinets installation, and there is some trim work like baseboards and quarter rounds, which is part of the flooring work. And we get to the point when it's called templating. We invite the fabricator. This is the person that works with the countertops, with the stones, either granite or quartz, and they need to measure or template, and then they start fabrication of the pieces. Usually there is a little bit of slowdown of the progress at this point because they come and measure, but the installation of the countertops doesn't happen usually immediately. Usually takes about a week, even 2 weeks, just to get the slabs to cut and be ready to install the countertops.
And then once you have that, that's the last thing? You're done at that
Um,
point? Just clean up?
well, once the countertops are in, pretty much same day or next day, we can install the sink and the faucet, the P-trap plumbing, hook up the dishwasher, and honestly, the customer may use the kitchen, all of the storage and everything, right? The only thing that needs to be added is the backsplash. Backsplash is all the way in the end. Once cabinets are in, countertop is in. Um, I always tell my customers, you know what, for the backsplash, you can even do it later. You can do it in a couple of months or maybe even next year. Sometimes people, blow to their budget and there is no budget left for the backsplash.
Right, right.
Or some people need more time to decide what exactly they want for the backsplash. Is it going to be subway tile? What color? Is it going to be herringbone pattern? So they need some time to make this decision, and I tell them it's perfectly fine. The only tricky part about the backsplash that I want to mention right now, probably going to be useful for the viewers. If you have a chimney range hood, the way this kitchen is, yes, chimney range hood can be installed. But once you start working on the backsplash, chimney range hood needs to come down. You tile that wall behind the chimney range hood and then needs to be reinstalled. So it's a little
Okay.
bit extra work, right? You basically install this range hood twice, but this is how it goes. If the backsplash work is scheduled along with like the big project with the kitchen
Yep.
reno, then the range hood is not going to be fully installed, but at least the anchor points will be known and attached to the wall, meaning that we're going to draft fit the range hood. We're going to know, oh, these are the anchor
Yeah,
points,
where it's
this is
gonna
the
be.
power supply, this is
Yeah.
where it's going to vent, then the backsplash goes in, and then the true installation of the range hood. And the backsplash is the final accord pretty much on this masterpiece.
And they had you do that, right? That was
Yes.
part of the
Yeah, this was
yes.
part of the project.
Okay. And so you've finished all the renovation work. What's the last thing you do before you say to the client that it's ready?
Um, well, I tell them, hey, let's do a walkthrough, meaning that it's finished. I pretty much have no tools with me, no other of my employees, just me. And we walk through the project or what we have done. I show them all the bells and whistles that they have in the kitchen, soft closing and drawers and nested drawers. Um, Sometimes the customers may point out some little things that they may need fixed, such as, oh, this handle doesn't quite look vertical, or can we adjust the drawer here? Can we caulk this? I think there is a scuff mark on the wall here. So this is perfectly normal. That's why we do the
Yeah.
walkthrough,
Yeah.
so that they can point out these little things that may or may not exist. And just would polish these things within the next couple of days, and then it would be done.
And so, and in this case, with specifically with this kitchen, what was the first thing that the customer said when they saw their new kitchen during the walkthrough, for example?
Yeah. I mean, of course, they see the work in progress, right? They live there, so it's not like the HGTV when they leave and they come back and wow, they can recognize the house and the kitchen, right? But
All right, so let me
usually,
rephrase. Let me rephrase the question. Okay, throughout the transformation, once things started to come into the new shape, the new form, they could see what's happening. What was the most emotional thing that one of them said, one of the homeowners said, that really stood out to you, good or
uh,
bad?
yeah, not just this project. Usually, from my experience, every single project, as soon as the cabinets start coming in and the doors, this is the wow moment. Okay, because up until that point, it was mostly things are gone or demoed or it's dusty and dirty, and there's nothing to really talk about. But once the cabinets start going in, this is the first time that they're wowed. Usually, the next wow moment is with the countertops, because then it's really starting to
It
look
looks
like a
like they
real
can use
kitchen
it.
at that point. But I like to tell the customers, hey, you need to break some eggs to eat an omelet. So at first it's like demo and starts looking nasty and dirty and expenses. So this is usually like the decline part, which nobody's super excited about. And at that phase, the customer is also worried what exactly it's going to be, right? They don't know. So far, we've
Yeah.
just been demoing stuff, not really creating
Yeah.
anything, but just taking away trash, right? Um, but once they start see lights and cabinets and countertops and handles and appliances, then they're really wowed. And you know what? Every little thing that we add later on, including the backsplash, is another reason to be happy about, and they're wowed. Yep.
Terrific. What was something that maybe you learned from this project, or something that was different that you hadn't encountered in projects before?
Okay. So usually there are bad surprises in most
Right, like
renovation
demo day.
projects.
Yeah,
Usually,
like you
yeah.
said that. Yeah.
But even throughout, such as, oh, we're starting the assembly installation, but this part is damaged. Okay, so usually unpleasant surprises. So occasionally we get pleasantly surprised, and there was this moment in this particular kitchen. Originally, the customer had microwave over the range. So originally for this particular project, the customer had a microwave over the range, but he wanted chimney range hood. Okay, he wanted to go away from the microwave over the range. And I told him, okay, we're gonna have to install a duct, right, so that it vents out, not just air circulating. And there is just a certain cost associated with this. So the pleasant surprise was that once we removed the old cabinets in the microwave, there was a duct there existing that the customer didn't have to spend. I don't remember the exact amount, but probably saved them good $500-600. Okay,
The secret duct.
so, so this was a very pleasant surprise for everybody. Um, I was kind of dreading this moment as well because it's not easy to run this duct. You know where exactly it's
Wow.
gonna go. The exterior is brick. How exactly we're gonna bust through it? I don't want to damage more bricks than I have to. So you know what? Even though I didn't kind of charge this money for the duct, I was actually happy that it was there, and I removed it from the scope of work and the budget. But it's a pleasant surprise, something that rarely
Yeah.
happens.
Very
Usually
cool.
it's the other way around. Usually you have
Yeah.
to deal with problems and charge extra because more man hours and subs need to show up. But this was a new.
Love it. Well, Neil, that's a great win-win. Terrific kitchen remodeling story, transformation story. It sounds like they absolutely loved the kitchen, and the pictures are of a beautiful kitchen. Thank you so much for coming on the Kitchen Remodeling Success Stories podcast today, Neil. Where can people find out more about you? I know you have many social media profiles. You're very active online. It's terrific. What's the best way to reach you?
Thank you, Jacob. The best way to reach us is just looking at our website, which is europeankitchensva.com. We have many projects in our portfolio. We have blog. Usually people find us just by Googling IKEA installation in Virginia Beach and they find European kitchens. We try to be active on social media, Instagram and YouTube,
Yeah,
even Facebook. So
confirmed.
this is the way to go. Yeah.
Terrific. Thank you so much again, Neil.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
Now that you've learned how Neil transformed a dark, dated 1980s kitchen into a bright, modern IKEA masterpiece, let me show you how to attract homeowners who truly value that kind of transformation. I've created something special you can try with just a few clicks. It's a return on investment calculator that reveals how many more ideal clients you could gain by applying a simple, often overlooked marketing strategy. Don't miss out on thousands in potential revenue by waiting. Click the link below to access the ROI calculator right now and start bringing those dream kitchen projects straight to your inbox. If you've ever worked with IKEA kitchen cabinets, you know they can be a dream for design flexibility or a nightmare if you don't plan ahead. Neil Nenov of European Kitchens in Virginia Beach shared a simple but powerful insight. The earlier your clients order the IKEA materials, the smoother the project runs. Here's why. IKEA cabinets are flat packed, and even one missing frame or cover panel can delay installation. Neil gives his clients a full order list weeks in advance, encouraging them to purchase early so any backordered or damaged parts can be replaced before demo day, and it does happen. That single step saves headaches, keeps the crew productive, and builds client trust when you stay on schedule. For example, remodelers like Studio Dearborn in New York and ICANN Installations in California follow a similar approach, combining proactive design lists with early ordering to minimize downtime and wow clients with on-time completions. So if you want smoother installs and happier clients, take a page from Neil's playbook. Get those IKEA orders placed early and protect your timeline before it even starts. What's the most surprising but good thing you've uncovered during a kitchen remodel, such as something hidden in the walls or under the cabinets? Let us know in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to check out our ROI calculator. It's a quick, free tool to see how small marketing tweaks can attract more of your dream clients. Thanks again to Neil Nenov of European Kitchens in Virginia Beach, Virginia, for sharing this inspiring IKEA kitchen remodel and its process for turning dated spaces into modern showpieces. And thank you for watching and listening to Kitchen Remodeling Success Stories, where every success story helps you build a better kitchen and a better kitchen remodeling business.